Alexa, set an event calendar.
Smart mirror video today at 8 p.m. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, I've added that.
Alexa, play some music.
Here's Spotify.
Hi guys. So in this tutorial, I'll be showing you how the items I got for the smart mirror, the software needed, how to put it together, and the modules, different modules you can put on. Alright, let's get started with the items. Okay, so this is what you're gonna need for the smart mirror. I'm so sorry, it looks so bad, but this is essentially all you need. So I'll go into more depth about the different items and how much it costs right after this. But here is just the introduction of the items. So you need a monitor, which connects to a power cable, which connects to the extension cable. You also need a HDMI or VGA or DisplayPort to a micro HDMI cable, which connects to a Raspberry Pi. You also need a micro SD that goes into the Raspberry Pi, and then a power cable from the Raspberry Pi to the extension cable. And optional, if you want, you can get yourself some LED lights to also plug into the extension cable. To control turning on and off the smart mirror whenever you want, you can get a smart plug, and also you can get an Alexa to control the music, calendar, basically everything. You should totally get one of these. This is what you can kind of expect, the price range that you might be trying to get at. So for me, I spent a total of $258 on my smart mirror, and that is purely because I got a lot of stuff on Black Friday. So if you have like nothing and it's not on sale, you can expect to pay a lot more. But this is if you're getting like the greatest stuff. Typically, you don't need a $70 monitor. You can get a very cheap one. Like I got mine for like $5 on OfferUp. Also, like I said, LEDs are optional, so you really don't need it if you don't want to. And you can probably save a lot on the two-way mirror, but I'll leave it like that. And you know, you're already down to around $350, so it's really not that bad. Just try to find stuff on sale, and I'll give you the links in the description of like this different stuff that I found. But like typically, you can have many different variations. It doesn't have to be mine exact thing. Mine is definitely different from a lot of others. This is just my way or how I did it. Okay, now it's the actual mirror list of where I got all my stuff. So with the most expensive thing on the list, we got the smart mirror, around $170. I got an 18-inch by 24-inch. So just make sure that your monitor fits the actual mirror. And obviously you don't have to get this one, just make sure it's a two-way glass mirror, because this is a little bit pricey, coming around $170. You also need a Raspberry Pi. I got my Raspberry Pi at Micro Center, but obviously I know most people won't be able to be next to a Micro Center, so I suggest maybe getting the Raspberry Pi 3, which is around like $30-$35 on Amazon, probably cheaper somewhere else. And so I also got a monitor on OfferUp, which isn't that, like, you can find really expensive ones, but you can find really cheap ones too. Just setting up the prices to like super cheap, but yeah, you can find some with the power cable and the HDMI really easily if you just search around. And so yeah, you can just find the whatever cable you need. You can also find an Alexa for like 24 bucks, 25 bucks here. When I got it, it was about 18 bucks at Best Buy when it was like Black Friday. Extension cables. You probably have one of these lying around, but try to find something cheaper than 17 bucks. Smart plugs. It doesn't really matter which one you choose, just make sure it has an app that can connect to Alexa, so you're able to turn it off and on through her, or if you don't care, you can just turn it off and on through an app made by whatever company it's made by. So the reason I'm putting a TV mount here is because my smart mirror was really heavy, probably because of that old monitor. So we already had one, but there are some cheap ones out there, about 18 bucks. Typically, if you get a skinnier one, like you don't even need to have like that whole monitor. You can just take that whole backside out, so it could be as skinny as possible. But if you need one, there you go. LEDs are about 11 bucks, 14 bucks here. I got it for like 11, I think, when it was on sale. You don't need a lot. 16.4 feet is just enough for you, unless you have like the hugest mirror, but I doubt it. And if you want one that works with Alexa, it's maybe around 20 bucks. If you have the money, I would suggest this, because then you'll have like everything working with Alexa. You know, the Spotify, calendar, you know, everything. Optional, like you don't really need a keyboard and mouse, because you can connect your Raspberry Pi interface on your personal computer through VNC viewer, and I'll show you how to do that, because I didn't do that. To get the software to run on your monitor and Raspberry Pi, you're gonna have to get your micro SD card, plug it into your computer, choose a system, which is probably gonna be Raspberry Pi, and your SD card, and then you're gonna write it. Like I said, there's a bunch of different videos out there that really go in depth, so I'll link that down below. Same with installing the calendar module, the Spotify module, the location of the weather module, and complements. So there are some really good tutorials, and I'll link them, and also I'll link a video in the description that shows you how to get VNC Viewer, which is very useful because it allows you to edit your smart mirror from your PC, which is really great and useful. So like I said, this is a computer, right? So you can do what a computer can do. It's essentially just like a Chromebook. Let's just click on a video real quick. Right. Okay. So I'll be recording. Okay, so yeah. I love this guy. So yeah, Okay, so if you watch like all the videos, the other tutorials that I link down below, I'll just give you some tips on like where I had some troubles. So I have a Raspberry 4, and to orient the screen, you have to go into here, then preferences, then screen configuration, and then you can configure it here through orientation, right? So if I go right, you could do that if you wanted to. But it took me a long time to figure that out, because when I watched a lot of videos, it told me to do it in Raspberry 3, and that I had to do like sudo nano boot /config.txt, and I had to go like into here and like do LCD rotate 90 degrees, or like 1 and 0. But if you have a Raspberry Pi 4, you just have to go into preferences and screen configuration. Another tip. So let's say you want to change some of the complements. You can just go into Magic Mirror, modules, default, complements, in complements.js. And so you can just choose. So here are all the different types of complements you have there, and so you can just add the ones you want right here, right? So like, hello world. Make sure your syntax is correct, or else you'll get an error. But you can just play around with that. You should get familiar with this through the other tutorials. Like you mostly don't need to worry about all this other code. You just you just have to change up whatever you want right there. Save that. Let's also show another tip that I really couldn't find. Was I wanted to change the size of the Spotify album. So you just go into folders, Magic Mirror, config, modules, and then CSS, and then styles. And then you can find it on the NPOS album cover. Just mess around with this. But I like it at 60. So I'll keep it at that. But overall, those are the things that I had trouble with. And I'm looking on adding more modules soon. It already does look a bit cluttered, so I don't want to add too much. But yeah, I like it. It looks really nice to me. Last thing, so if you get the plug, you can get the app, and you can just configure it however you want to. You can turn it on at a specific time, what days you want it on, and you can just turn it off whenever you want. So it's really cool, and I like it a lot. And now I'll just show the building